think if you do something, it needs to be fairly easy. And this, to me, how does it get much easier than that? If you're all cozy in your robe and you just go outside, it's kind of cold outside at first, but of course you're going to warm up. That's the idea. You may have no intention of warming up. You're like, oh my God, I don't even want to get on that thing. That's totally me. It's like, what? No way. I'm not doing that. Another cup of coffee. Let's sit down and journal. Let's watch, see what my friends are saying online, or what, let's watch a meditate. This will be good for me. I'll watch something. No, I know all about that myself. But coming out here, get yourself a little rebounder, maybe, because as you can go break it to yourself gently. I think some of us are like, absolutely not. We see it as masochistic to exercise. Not myself, but I've seen, that really shocked me when I heard that. I'm not a masochist. I'm not going to go, I'm not going to exercise. But as you can see, I'm just letting myself notice the tree. There's a nice, beautiful cedar tree there. So honor to the cedar tree, to the rain. So this is not a morning sun. You're not getting the sun in your eyes. But you get cosmic rays. They still come through. This cloud cover is a form of light that's different than being indoors. There's something different. You can see I have a roof over the head, but the opening of the air. So I'm not completely with my feet on the earth, but I am out in the fresh air with the trees here. So if possible, to do this as long as possible. Let's see if last year I had the rebounder inside the house. And that's also a very gentle way to just step up on the rebounder. But I'm leery of doing that. I'm hesitant to put it inside because I'd rather bundle up and come out and get warm from this body movement. And then get those cosmic rays. You are getting heavenly impulses from this particular form of light that is in the outdoor sky. Father sky, the sky. You're getting that sky into your brain in the morning. And if you get started early in the day with some good light, that is going to help clear your pineal gland, which is responsible for producing melatonin, and it has all kinds of circadian rhythmic effect on hormonal processes, but all the processes really that happen when we're sleeping at night. And it's why we want to start our day and our metabolism and our life, getting it going in that little bit earlier time, as early as you can, gradually, little by little. You start getting up earlier, getting that body movement. And then what happens is that you suddenly find that, wow, I have been getting tired and going to bed earlier. When the sun goes down, that is more of when we need to lay down. That's the earth-centered, rhythmic balance. Balancing your body. See, and now I suddenly realize, so suddenly something's changing. You might have seen it in the camera, I don't know, but I'm suddenly I'm not even really warmed up, but I started to stand up taller. Just my rib cage, I let my rib cage kind of come up and my shoulders back a little bit. Then I just tucked my pelvis just a little bit, and then be on the toe ball of your feet. The heels are more lightly up and down. And at first, your calves will burn just from this. If you haven't exercised, breathing through that nose, letting your body know you're safe. Now this year, I was renewing my massage license CEUs, and I was reminded something. I got an epiphany because I took a course on ethics of energy work, and which I teach, by the way, but I took a wonderful course that was very much, they called it like trauma informed. I don't remember the exact name of it, but for practitioners. And one of the things that the instructor pointed out was, and even these rebounder teachers, the gals that aren't even, they're not energy workers, but they want us to breathe through our nose, even while we're exercising. And that ties in with what I teach is when you breathe in through your nose, and then just slowly out through the mouth, and get a little belly breathing, out through the mouth, then, excuse me, it signals your nervous system, I am safe. We still have these nervous systems that react. And it's an opportunity, though, to evolve and be consciously regulating ourselves, like gentle regulation. Be aware that your nervous system could be shooting through the roof, and maybe you're actually safe. So that's what I was learning in this, reminded and brought it up in Epiphany, is for me that when I've been exercising, there's a certain way I avoid it because I think I'm not safe, if you will. My body is confused. It thinks that I'm running from a saber-toothed tiger when I get out of breath or when I exert myself. For some reason, it's scary. Some of that could be childhood conditioning, the family you grew up in, gender types of training we get, or programming, if you will, that as a kid, or that the parents got nervous when the kids are really active. So you kind of feel, oh, my mom's nervous because I'm running around. I better just sit still so she'll feel calm, you know? So these are kind of some of the or whoever it is, you know, your preschool teacher, or you just don't want to rock the boat or get upset as a kid. So you kind of made that decision but forgot about it. So the instructor, what did she say? She said something like, just to, I don't even remember how she taught it, but it's a way to notice that you are safe in the present moment. I just started doing an affirmation. I can be safe and work out hard at the same time. I am safe while I'm exerting myself. I am actually safe while I'm exerting myself. I can be out of breath. I can be exerting my muscles and my cardiovascular, or even just gently bouncing, and I'm still safe. I'm not, and also that I think another hurt we get is competition in sports, in schools. I always felt I was the last one picked, or, you know, that kind of person. Or trying to run, if they were having us run around the track, and then I just felt slow, like I was running through a dream in the mud, and everybody else was like, woo, running. And so it made me avoid that kind of situation, if you will. I just did. And so later in life, when I started doing raw vegan and lots of raw fruits and vegetables, juice fasting, colon cleansing, liver flushing, all through my late teens, and then started doing jogging. But then, fast forward, like in my 50s, I started swimming laps. Now, I know that US diet has changed so much. So a lot of the young people aren't very healthy. And so I noticed I was doing these laps twice as fast as the kids. They were half my age or less. They were like half my age, like say they looked like 20s or something, or teens maybe even. But I was like doing it longer and faster. I was like, huh. So that went on. I don't know if, and I didn't mean to be competing. I just happened to notice that, like, wow, I must be healthier than I used to be, or the young people are not as healthy as they used to be in the 70s, which both are true. There we go. All of a sudden, I feel my hips kind of loosen up. And so I have shorts. You can have shorts on and a t-shirt under your robe so that once you warm up, you can just take your robe off. Right out here, you're dressed. But just like that feeling of the trees holding space. And as your brain chemistry gets a little, now I'm getting some serotonin, I'm getting some kind of dopamine or serotonin, if you want to call it that, but I'm feeling the trees hanging out with me. Kind of get that sense of, oh, I'm hanging out with the trees. Maybe it's the opposite. I'm joining their wavelength a little bit more. I'm joining the trees' wavelength, you know. I'm getting the air, they're giving me air. And they may be grateful that I'm blowing out my air towards them because they breathe the carbon monoxide that I breathe out. And I'm breathing in what they are releasing. They're breathing in what I release out. What I don't need, they need. What I need, they have. Okay? So maybe I'm feeling their gratitude. I'm sensing the love from the cedar. I'm sensing the love from this maple and this fir tree over here and this plum tree and this, I believe, is one of these oak? Hawthorn, I think. I should know. But there, now I'm just starting to go, oh wait, maybe I can just, things are a little bit happier. I can sort of loosen my joints up. And I'm kind of always do the opposite. You do your right to your left knee, your right arm or hand goes towards your left knee and vice versa. That's that's for your brain balance, left, right brain. You want to do that. Just do it real time. So I'm going to wrap this up, but it's one more time. It's starting to rain. So when I started doing these videos, it was summertime. It was summer outdoors, easy peasy. You're like, of course I'll go outside. Of course I'll be out there. The sunrise is right over here in the east. I'm facing kind of east, southeast a little bit so I can be a little more towards the camera. But here it is, fall. It's autumn. There. And then you start to go, wow, lo and behold, here's a person who didn't even feel like getting on here. And it's hard not to be joyous when your body is expressing joy and you're opening up the heart space. You're going to automatically start to feel joy. It's the energy of the body. And it's, you know, some people lately have been saying, oh, I hate that slogan, fake it till you make it. And no, that's not what that means. Fake it shouldn't be, the word fake is not right. I think it has to do with cognitive behavioral principles of psychology. However, though, if you do take a small action towards something, that action itself is transformative and leads to further, you know, rewarding yourself in a way you feel better. So then you'll go, oh, I remember that. I felt better when I got up on the rebounder. And then in a few minutes, I was actually a little bit out of breath, and I was a little more joyous, and I was able to move my body more, and I had a better day. My mood got better. I felt spring in my step the rest of the day. So that slogan, fake it till you make it, well, what else could we say? Can you make up something else? Retake it till you make it, or what rhymes with make? Put some steak in it. You know, put a steak, S-T-A-K-E. You know, put a tiny steak to make it. Put a tiny investment into that, like 60 seconds. of just getting on the rebounder, or if you don't have one right now, do jumping jacks. You know, I went on a really long hike the day before yesterday, and in the woods, and wow, did I ever remember why that's important. So living in the Pacific Northwest has a lot of deep, deep value, and I want to acknowledge the land I'm on. This is unceded territories of the Grand Ronde tribe. With respect, that was a good burp. See, it makes me cleanse myself. So when you acknowledge the land that you're on is unceded territory, that means it was never given over honestly. It was broken treaties over and over again. So I think if you're a non-native too, to actually acknowledge that you actually start detoxing because your body knows it's true. And softening. So as we detox, as we soften, as we acknowledge and become more generous, it's not to be politically correct. No, it's to be in your body correct. It's not, because I don't see myself as that way. And it's not to feel guilty or be a victim yourself or try to explain yourself or excuse yourself or distance yourself from other settlers, the European non-native settlers. That's another one. I'm taking Native American Studies right now in a university, and I took it grassroots for 13 years in an international peer counseling organization. So it's worthy of study, it's worthy of lifelong studies. So I'm getting warm enough. I'm not sure how much I want to show here. But yeah, so you can wear your shorts, just something like that. It's fine. And, get outside, get something warm. If you have a jumpsuit or a sweatsuit, of course, put that on. I just don't. I don't have one that I like. And I'm really tired of fake material, but it's just what I have and it's the warmest. I have it on my vision board to have like all linens and wools and cottons and just replace these things with all these microfibers. But this is how things are today. And this is what I'm grateful for now, that I'm being kept warm. So one of my next videos, I'm going to be talking about that right upper quadrant. It gets a little sore sometimes on people, and that can be to do with needing to do some support and cleanse or hydration for a person's gallbladder, liver, and how to do that. I'm working on a presentation for the American Polarity Therapy Association for the morning vitality drink in Dr. Stone's polarity therapy, his purifying diet, his purifying breakfast. But this is a very important part, is breathing in and getting a belly breath down into, as if you're filling up a glass of water. So breathing into the abdomen first, and up through the rib cage, inflating your lungs. That is not only going the life force into your brain to activate prana, life force, your intelligence to activate that, but it's also going into your gut. There's that analogy of your gallbladder that Andreas Moritz uses, that if you take a washcloth and it's all wet and you kind of don't even wring it out, you just kind of throw it in a corner, as it sits there, it's going to get moldy and icky and decrepit. But if you take that washcloth and you wring it out and then put it out in the air, it's going to dry nicely and smell fresh. That's kind of what fresh air and moving around, he says at least 45 minutes a day. Kevin Trudeau, his book, Health Secrets, They Don't Want You to Know About, that's a great book. It has a great chapter on the gallbladder cleanse. Healing with Whole Foods by Paul Pitchford has a great section on gallbladder flushes, and he actually gives you a mini flush you can do each day, or the more intense where you work up to it and do this big flush all in overnight. So it just depends where you're at with your health. But so Kevin Trudeau is saying get a colonic every other day for 1 month. And Susan Moon can do that over at Tree of Life Colonics in Selwood. She uses the gravity flow, the Helen Woods method, the gravity flow, and has castor oil packed for your stomach while you're there, sits beside your side and helps press your stomach a little bit, and uses essential oils. It's the ideal. So Susan Moon at Tree of Life Colonics. Also, there's a fellow I go to all the time as well. I'll put their links in the bottom. But to move your body a minimum of 45 minutes a day, that can just be this, like even just like what I'm doing. It's not, no, am I going to build a lot of arm muscle this way? No. But am I going to get things happy and kind of moving and be warmed up to do something next if I want to, if I feel like it? Yeah, I could do some planks. I could lift, I have my 10-pound barbells there. So, you know, now it's not so cold to me. Oh, there we go. I'm kind of popping my back now, and I feel a little stretch along my hips. I'm actually going side to side more. And this just came naturally. It's nothing, I'm not following a book, except for making sure that my left brain and right brain are balancing by doing that crossover. That's really important. If you've heard of the Cook's hookups or you've heard of brain gym, I should do a video on brain gym. I'll link to that book in the comments, but I'm making a lot of work for myself. Then I all of a sudden just want to move my arms. That was weird. That was strange. I just wanted to do some jumping jacks. Because why? I think that's something about how, wow, this feels good. And you just sort of naturally start doing it. Begins to change your brain chemistry. I've heard people say they just felt their mood, they were in a better mood just from this. And it could be kind of like as a kid, a baby gets rocked in their cradle or in their crib or whatever, in their bed or their mom's arms. It's a soothing feeling to be rocking, and that sound on the springs. My little brother used to rock himself in his crib and sing songs. He'd put his forehead on the pillow and sing. Ah. So I have good memories of that. I mean, hopefully you do too. But okay, then I noticed that it feels like bringing that leg up more. So I just really want to be like right there. Oh, it's starting to rain more. Okay, I'll be right back. So look how far you come. You didn't even want to step on this. And then you've just done 20 minutes of just getting yourself in a better mood so you don't turn to food to change your mood, because chewing also changes your mood for the better, but it makes you bigger. You might not need that food, but you need the brain chemistry that the chewing gives you. Have a little water. But yet, if it's putting too much excess calories, excess weight on your body, then yeah, it's better to just step up here, you know, and get going, get warmed up. I just want you to see, I want me to see Fix this. There. I want myself to see that this can be done in all seasons. And no, it's not like all flashy. It's not all flashy, with right now. Maybe it will be. A year from now, maybe I'll be more flashy and I'll be lifting weights and with, who knows? But yeah, so, but okay, that shows my brain chemistry is slightly up. If you find yourself accidentally going like that means your brain needs that left-right balance. It's out of balance. So get yourself back in. Do the opposite. Yeah, like this. Or just, and then let yourself just relax into that. Notice that how that good it feels to let your hips kind of swing and get those knees up more. It just feels good to lift those knees up more. It's raining now and I'm doing my workout on the front porch. I'm outside with a cedar tree. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. Oh yeah, you see it. I think I was right in front of it. And an interesting thing is I had come out here to empty out my espresso to go make another espresso. So I come outside to put my grounds outside and just walked up on that and tricked myself. I said, oh, okay, I'm just going to step up here for a minute. And now I've got almost a half hour, and yeah, I'm a little bit out of breath. So it's not in a stressful way. It's not creating inflammation, but it's enough to what? What has it done? Let's look at science. Let's look at the facts of what it's done scientifically. I'm back. So what exactly does that do for you? Why is it helpful? How is it helping me? I'm not, I could be 20 pounds lighter, but I'm not. So incidentally, I just did make a little tonic and that shot of espresso with some hot water and some tinctures that I recommend to most of my clients because why motherwort? It means mother heal. And it's an adaptogen that does it depending where your body needs, hormone wise. It's also good for the heart space. Like and there's so many, they're finding even plastics in people's hearts and they're finding heavy metals in people's hearts. So we need minerals, and this is a way to escort out, it's to support the heart, first of all. It's not, yeah, it's not the same as zeolite, which I also use. Um, So what has that done? Well, one of the things, and I mention in my book, The Raw Princess Rituals and Rants, a self-care guide to beauty and grace, under my pen name, my former pen name, Chelsea Sacagawea, out of with respect to Sacagawea. I might keep that. It says Chelsea Ann Cheramoya Sacagawea. I was like really into identity seeking. But yeah, that's me with the raw vegan cake on the front. It can be found on Amazon. It's a self-published book. Um, Amazon, I'll put the link below to purchase it through my link. Then I not only get a commission royalty a small royalty from the book, but also maybe a small commission from Amazon. It talks about that. I was mentioning it while I was rebounding gallbladder health. You want to, just like a washcloth in Chinese medicine, they call it dampness. That leads to the C word. That leads to some chronic degenerative diseases. If you have too much of the dampness, and that's what dairy products do. That's why I just highly do not recommend them most of the time. There's a small percentage, like sure, like if you live next door to a family farm and they literally for sure don't take the babies away from the mama, that kind of thing, and if you actually needed it. But we're the only species that don't, that drink other milk besides our own, like mother's milk as a baby. They're taking this from other species. But speaking of like the washcloth thing, if you wring that up and you kind of get it all wet and throw it in a corner, that's what just eating dairy and not exercising does. It just is the precursor to the C word. So Now there's thankfully much better products on the market than there were when I first became vegetarian. The yogurts tasted weird, the cheeses always tasted weird, they didn't melt, and yeah, are they a little bit processed? Yeah, they're more than you normally. Do I want to teach you how to make your own? Yes, I do, which I actually have the recipe for the unnacho cheese in here. Very simple. This book needs to be new and improved, but however, what it was for, I was on a deadline with an ebook group that I was invited to be part of the group, and raw foods kind of group in 2011. And so I thankfully had a deadline, and I pounded out this book trying to just put the most important things. But I missed out. I didn't put like really good green smoothies. I don't think I didn't do like the really good green soup in here, but I do have the green soup on my Substack blog. It's called Rooms from View 9, but you can find it from C. Cummins. So the exercise, even just that little bit of just getting a little bit out of breath, the nice thing is you're not creating that massive inflammation that everyone's warning you about, telling you not to run long distances, be careful how much cardio you do, all that, because it stresses your body. This is a gentle cardio, but yet on the other hand, it's like that washcloth. It's like putting it out in the sunlight, because while you're breathing, that's going into your gut. The air is going through all your tissues, but it's like letting your body get that sunlight that washcloth needed, so that you don't start getting all moldy inside and like a bathroom plumbing drain that has that black gunk. This is part of helping you with that. Is it the only thing? No. Is it something that then creates like a good brain chemistry so that you are more likely to do something again more healthy for yourself the next thing you do, and you find yourself like feeling happier, so you do love yourself? Yes. So the book will also describe how to make the morning drink, the liver flush drink. And it tells a bit of my story going through my teens and 20s and 30s. And I was too much, I'm going to rewrite it because I gave too much credit to some other groups. And I also it was almost like a photo album. I'm glad my kids were in it, but my fiance at the time, I just was very overly, you know, devoted, let's put it that way, to him, which so I could rewrite it with, but thank him for what he gave me. That's perfect. That's perfect. So everybody, we're going to wrap this one up. The main thing is you understand that taking a tiny step towards moving your body is loving your body as it is right now. It's not because you have some kind of ego thing. It's because you are loving your system, and you know that some sort of gentle, whether it's if you don't have a rebounder yet or you don't have a porch to go out on, try to stand in front of a window and open the window to let fresh air in. If you live in a polluted area, then you can simply use an air doctor, some kind of air purifier, and have plants in the room that you're exercising in. Obviously, if you can, let some of that solar light, the cosmic rays of the cosmos, let some of that into your eyes, and avoid those toothpastes that have fluoride in them. Don't use that. That starts to calcify behind the eyes, between the eyes, behind the eyebrows. It begins to calcify a very important endocrine organ, and that is what's responsible for us having good brain chemistry, having balanced hormones, and being able to sleep when the sun goes down and then get up when the sun comes up. It helps us with our intuition, a little bit of that clairvoyance. So you might hear clairaudience, clairsentience. You may have a little of all of those things, but not if you're calcifying the pineal gland. If you'd like to hear more about that, please let me know. If you want me to make a video about any things that I've talked about, could make a whole video. And I would love to hear from you as I'm growing. This is exciting to talk about stuff I'm interested in. And there's a certain number of people that will also be interested in this. It's not for everyone. But if you want to begin kind of making your light body, because things are going to get a lot lighter in 2025 as we have these Piscean themes the Aries North Node is going to go right over into Pisces, which is really the highest spiritual in a way. It's known as the spiritual sign, if you will. And it gives us an opportunity, and it's water instead of fire. So it gives us an opportunity to be more fluidic. I mean, yes, Aries, it wants you to be that athletic. So it wants you to start new things. So do that now so that when it goes into Pisces, then you can just really catch that wave and go with the flow. Speaking of waves behind my shoulder. And you can really go with the flow. Then the collective, the North Node, is where we're headed, unless you just want to be creepy and goopy and be on that, like Dara Dubonnet calls it, the brown couch, the squishy brown couch of complacency, is what the South Node is, that opposite. So we can talk more about that if you'd like another video about that. Or also go, I'm mentioning Dara Dubonnet. She's a significant astrology teacher in my life. I've studied since the 70s, but I began some very pertinent key things from Dara, which I now share with you guys. But similar to how I mentioned Dr. Elizabeth last time, you can go to Dara's site. She charges about $6.50 an hour. So if you want to go get a session from her, I highly recommend it. It changed my life. It's not something I can do every month. You can get a session with me as well for more like $200 on my website right this minute, and going to ccummins.as.me. And I'll bring you the best of what I learned from Dara, the best of what I've grown up with, the Dr. Stone polarity therapy teachings, how that astrology is in our bodies, and our birth chart, and how it affects different organs, where you're more susceptible, where you're strong, how to balance if you're, whether you're grounded or if you're spacey, how to bring specific foods in for that certain, if you will, medicine. Okay, so talk to you soon, and sending lots of love. I'm so excited about this channel. I'm so excited to be sharing these things. As you can see, it's quite a compendium, an encyclopedic, vast array of different fascinating details. So let's talk soon. Let me know in those comments if you don't know what to say. Just say what was a highlight for you, or some kind of takeaway. I don't care how small it was, or even a criticism. I'm obviously going to get those too. All right, but if it can be constructive, all the better.